Morgan Stanley, let's start with this news this hour, is revising its estimates for the future of the American economy. On Friday, the financial services firm credited Bidenomics for much stronger than expected GDP growth. The bank now projects 1.9% GDP growth for the first half of this year. That's nearly 4 times higher than the bank's previous forecast, which had been 0.5%. And looking into next year, they raised their forecast for real GDP in 2024 by 0.1% to 1.4%. The revision comes as President Biden has been on the road trying to sell the American public on his Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. The legislation directs billions of dollars towards new construction on roads, bridges, airports, and seaports. It also includes plans to increase the availability of broadband internet, to replace lead pipes and build electric vehicle charging stations. Morgan Stanley's chief economist says that the president has created a, quote, boom in large-scale infrastructure. And those words, Jim Messina, are certain to appear on a Biden campaign bumper sticker near you. So this is the president has been leaning in for quite some time on the infrastructure. They're rolling out. We're starting to see shovels in the ground this year.
Yep.
And then particularly in recent days, Bidenomics has become the buzzword at the West Wing. Maybe not the catchiest, but it's their effort to try to really, frankly, claim credit for what they think has been a good economy, even if American voters, at least polling suggests, don't necessarily feel that way.
Well, you're exactly right. The economic narrative is what you have to win a presidential election. When I was President Obama's campaign manager, in the middle of the night every month, Bill Clinton would wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning and say to me, all presidential elections are always a referendum on the economic future. And so the White House is being very smart to try to own this lane while the Republicans are having their primary, to sit and do exactly what Democrats have been saying for a while: stay focused, stay on message, and move an economic agenda. And they're doing a very good job.
So talk to us about the risks involved, though. I mean, wrapping your arms so fully around an economy, that has, though the metrics have largely been good, we're still a ways out from the election. The talk of a possible recession has faded, but has not disappeared. Of course, for any incumbent, as you just note, the economy is going to play a decisive role one way or the other. But this one is particularly a little fragile. And why do you think the American voters still really, frankly, think the economy is not good, despite numbers that say that it might be?
Well, look, they need to continue to be reminded. I mean, this is repetition over and over. The Biden campaign is going to own the economy either way, and they're smart to be steering right into it. I love Biden economics. I know it's not the world's catchiest phrase, but it moves directly to what they need to start saying to the swing voters are, here's what we have done, and here's what your life is going to be if you reelect us. It is a very smart political move.
So, Allie, one thing Democrats like to do is to worry. They like to worry, and they like to worry, and they like to complain. And a number of Democrats have been anxious about this. Why is the White House doing a better job telling the story? Those that you speak to on Capitol Hill, are they all in on Bidenomics?
I mean, they have to be, but I also think they've been hemming and hawing over this since the early stages of what was Build Back Better, which became the Inflation Reduction Act, and now here we are in the implementation phase. And I think that's the word that I hear the most on Capitol Hill is messaging around implementation. And I think that's where it's important that the White House, branded as they will, Bidenomics, however clunky. I remember when Clobomentum was the clunky word that we were trying to use. I know, as a little throwback for the table. But the fact that they're branding it around the economy, I think, allows most of the Democrats on Capitol Hill to then take this back to their districts and not just talk about the economy as this esoteric idea, but instead try to show people that it's what's happening, whether it's putting shovels in the ground on infrastructure projects, whether it's expanding broadband. That's the kind of stuff, the tangible impact that I often hear from Democrats, from operatives, from lawmakers who want more messaging. They're never going to be satisfied. Let's be clear. There's no amount of messaging that can be done that will make them feel good about the messaging. But I do think to the extent that they can feel good, you're seeing the White House start to put that strategy in play now.
Jim, how did the White House get into this pickle where we've had constant strong jobs numbers, we've had increasingly good news on inflation, and yet Joe Biden getting so little of the credit? What responsibility does the White House have for that state of affairs? And how hard or easy will it be to reverse that?
Well, look, what you realize when you work in the White House, which I did, is that the bully pulpit of the presidency is much more difficult in this age of social media. It is difficult to get your message out. Every single day, you've got to continue to hammer at it. They're going to 30 cities in 60 days, like hammering at this. Allie's exactly right. Democrats are historic bedwetters. We love to panic all the time. And the fact is you have a White House absolutely singularly focused on the economy, and you're not hearing Capitol Hill lose their minds because they realize the White House is doing exactly what they should be doing at this moment in time.